Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do it again, baby. Hello. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Woo. Woo. Welcome to the Comedians Wrestling Podcast. The podcast. Yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Comedians Wrestling Podcast. I'm Dan Black, the host with the most viral stand-up about professional wrestling. It's me, Dan Black, a.k.a. Dunsky Blackamora.
I have been here for 12 years!
A.k.a. Donnie Dirt Sheets. Donnie Dirt Sheets. A.k.a. the modern day goof and spoof.
Oh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Coming at you like Cleopatra, baby. Gabba, gabba,
Gabba, gabba, wee,
yeah,
gabba,
yeah,
gabba,
yeah,
gabba,
yeah,
gabba,
gabba, wee.
gabba,
This
gabba,
girl,
wee, gabba, gabba,
she's
gabba,
mine.
gabba, 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 gabba.
This is hot garbage.
Damn, she's fine. What up, jabroniacs? We're back in action for your satisfaction with all of our spicy, muy caliente wrestling reactions coming at you live, baby. Oh, sorry, I played the wrong version. All right. All right. What up? Wow. We got a huge episode for you guys. I imagine most of this episode we'll be talking about.
Roman Reigns is always
He's
here.
always on this podcast. We cannot escape him. We had the most monumental occasion in all of cow history. I've never gotten more texts in my entire life than the night of Clash of Champions. Now, before we get into talking about all the spice that is twice as nice, let me remind you guys that right now, the RKO Patreon special episode over at patreon.com/comedians of wrestling is live. Jason Shapiro and myself are ranking Orton's RKOs.
RK.
It's a blast. We have the definitive greatest Randy Orton podcast ever. We get into our love for the King of the Quarantine, the Slither Striking Styler, the Apex Predator, the Legend Killer. We talk about how much we love the dude, and we literally have it. Shebs has the most scientific system for ranking RKOs. Okay, and let me tell you, it's a 3-prong system. If I give you a little give you a little taste. But here's the deal. So got such great feedback on the RKO episode, which by the way has a corresponding video which shows you all the RKOs we're talking about in real time. Very high concept, very complex stuff. We will, if we get 5 more patrons over at patreon.com/comedians wrestling, I will release part 2 where we will rank. We have 60 more RKOs to rank. Okay, so we get 5 more patrons. We will get part 2 of the acclaimed. Many people are saying award-winning sponsor. Oh, I forgot we had a sponsor for that.
Monday Night Raw is presented by Southern New Hampshire University.
The sponsor, the RKO episode is sponsored by Southern New Hampshire University. Go there for a mediocre education. Okay. And also, as you know, our AEW NXT-centric episode is available Fridays on the Patreon or patreon.com/comedians wrestling. Don't worry. We're never ignoring the Wednesday Night Wars here, baby. And our Cow Movie Club episodes come out every Monday, Tuesday night. We switch it up depending if there's a pay-per-view on Sunday or not. But Erin, what movie did we discuss this week, and what movie will we be discussing next week?
This week we discussed a 2016 classic called Interrogation, starring Adam Edge Copeland, now available on Prime and Tubi. And next week we're watching another 2011 classic, Recoil, starring Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Wow.
Also
And
available
after
on
that, I'm
Prime
going straight to hell. Enjoy the show.
and Tubi, official Cow Movie Club streaming platform.
Wow, on Tubi. You heard it here. Tubi is one of my guys. Erin, and one last thing. Do we have any can we bring up the reviews? Do we have any one of my guys announcements? As you guys know, if you rate this podcast 5 stars in Apple Podcasts, and you write a wrestler who recently became one of your guys, you love their work, you need the people to know. And do we have any rankings on there that the people need to hear about? Actually,
Gosh.
I know we do. We have 2.
a couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have 2. Would you like me to read the first?
You can read them, and then I'll congratulate them.
Yes. On Monday, user Pitnas T writes.
Hold on. Soundboard literally got stuck with the Becky song playing.
They said a podcast where there are very little rules, lots of excitement, carnage, chaos, and quite frankly, lots of things I personally like to see. Nick Tulo holds the official Cow Money in the Bank briefcase. He's one of my guys.
Holy motherfucking shit.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow. Tulo from the Patreon, the Supermark. Okay,
Wow.
What else do we got?
Next up, this is from Joe. My favorite wrestling podcast, great content, amazing host, talk up, special guests, 8+ sound drops. What more could you ask for? I happily spend my quarantine Friday nights on the podcast, blah, 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 Facebook page. When it comes to one of my guys right now, Zelina Vega on a singles run is the maximum amount of dollars for me. I also need to say that the women of Cow are one of my guys. Erin, me, Emily, Susan, to name a few, making this community so inclusive for women wrestling fans, for all fans, really. Honorable one of my guys mentions to the sound drop of Dan Black singing Comedians of Wrestling to Out of Touch and dubbed Wednesday over when he said Thursday. Cheers. Oh, this is from Renata.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Renata, congratulations on having a lot of guys, I guess. There.
Yeah. Oh, and I also want to mention that she had submitted a revision on Facebook. I didn't realize this was from her, but I believe she would like to add Roman Reigns to her one of my guys list.
Well, I think that is going to be... I'm surprised we don't have more, but also the Apple sometimes is a lag because they have to approve it or something. I don't know. And I don't know how it works over there, but I believe we're going to get more Roman Reigns being one of my guys action coming at you. All right,
so
and that's
many Roman Reigns, one of my guys declarations. Apple is just backlogged.
Yeah, they might be backlogged because of Roman Reigns. Once he popped the top, we know what happened. And all right, let's just jump right into that. Erin, you heard Erin's here, the first lady. Erin is in the house.
What up?
And he's here to my down zoom. He's a nasty boy. Alex Newman Hagen.
Look, I think Southern New Hampshire University knows that the learning is in the students' hands, and I think that they give you the tools to succeed. So
yeah,
I don't know how much of a mediocre education they provide.
Wow.
I have a degree I have a degree and an advanced degree in forensic criminology from Southern New Hampshire University.
Wow. So what just happened here is that I was in the ring bashing Southern New Hampshire University with a steel chair. I was like, that's Newman! Newman's here to defend Southern Hampshire University!
Right. Like, you son of a bitch, you get out of here.
Oh, man. And then, you chased me out of the ring. I run out of the ring, and I slowly walk up the ramp. And then Newman's in the ring checking on Southern Hampshire University, putting the books back in the shelves, making sure their Ethernet cords are
still
connected,
accredited.
the dorms are clean, still accredited. Wow, that was a stretch. I love that. Coming off one of the biggest pro wrestling nights in all of politics that we've ever seen in our lives. It's fun to talk about wrestling a day after your president won't announce white supremacy. All right, so yeah, Newman's here, and all right, we're gonna talk about Roman Reigns. Before we do, Erin, I have a little surprise for you here.
What is this?
What is it?
It's pastique.
What flavor is that?
Pastique. Duh.
Oh, is this the maiden voyage?
This is my maiden voyage. My first time drinking Erin's
live.
flavor.
reaction.
I saw a single can being sold of it in Lassen's, and I was like, I'll pick one up and I'll
A
save it to
single
drink on the pod.
can? Wow.
My first taste of the watermelon LaCroix flavor.
Oh,
Bastille.
so good.
Cheers up.
Ooh, it's nice and refreshing. It is a beautiful flavor. It smells like
good.
it's going to taste like candy, but then it tastes refreshing in the same way that lime does. It has a little,
Yeah,
just
it
a little
doesn't
spritz.
have sweetness. It's a little spritz. And on the back end, you get a real authentic watermelon flavor.
It is really nice. I don't like the smell. The smell's a little Jolly Rancher for me, but the taste is good.
Because you decan yours, too. So you're getting that effervescence
Mm.
in
Mhm.
your olfactory
I pour it over
system.
ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now I'm
It
rocking. I
aerates
have
nicely.
both. I have a lemon. All right. Anyway, let's get into it. Roman Reigns at Clash of Champions did what he said he would do, which is took his seat at the head of the table by going topless. Guys, I honestly never got more texts ever. You would think I accomplished something. A couple of these texts I received were congratulations, like congratulatory texts, like I had done something by another man taking their shirt off. And let me tell you, that is one of the proudest moments of my life. That my brand is a man has people who care if another man has their shirt off. And that's beautiful to me. But what did you guys think of Roman Reigns' new vibe, new look? What do you think?
Well, congratulations to you, Dan. You can finally take your Roman Reigns vest off because you've been wearing it under all your clothes since like 2016, I think.
Absolutely. I wore it
Awaiting
last
this
week.
day.
I
So,
donated it to charity this morning.
big congratulations to you and also to Roman for looking delicious with no shirt on. I'm proud of him.
$1 trillion.
I went to
know.
give it.
Trillion.
Yeah, so Roman Reigns looked amazing. There's no denying it. He got in this great shape, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
look, I'm gonna stick with the positive here. I do have some negatives to say, just because I give you the full transparency, the full honesty here. But I will say this: let's focus on the positive, which is that Roman. They finally wrote Roman as the heel. They did everything right. We've said this. He has Paul Heyman with him, so he has a mouthpiece. He's starting to look like he's booked, right? He had the shirt off. He's in great shape. It felt right. There's nothing, there's nothing bad to say about it. Everyone, the reviews were in, was great. I think the highlight of it was not that he was shirtless, though. The highlight of the match was how good the fucking match was.
Yeah.
And how great the storytelling was. But in terms of his look, let's just isolate on the look. What do you guys think of his look? No shirt, no pants. Did you feel like he was in the shape to have his shirt off? His shape's always been in question. There was a lot of people saying, and I think this was just because Newman one time put out, maybe he doesn't want to take his shirt off because of scarring, because he had leukemia.
Wasn't me.
Well, you didn't say, I think you said maybe. I think you were just saying is that as a hypothetical. You didn't say that. I thought
That
you
was
did.
the teeth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I remember that.
And so that's been all put to rest, which I knew was bullshit the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, no, we seen that he's in great shape. It was just purely a shape thing. And so, yeah, what did you guys, did you guys feel like he should have this shirt off?
Yes, obviously. I think, and I also would say that I think that everybody is in the kind of shape to take their shirts off. But Roman Reigns is, good Lord. I put in the Facebook group as soon as he popped out of Gorilla. I was like, look at this man. Look at this specimen.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
even guys who aren't in the right shape to not have a shirt on still take their shirts off. Like,
And I know, yeah, and for the new listeners, I want to clarify this. It has nothing to do with the shape. I thought Roman was always in the shape to have his shirt off, personally. It's not about that. It's about looking like the role you're in. You cannot tell me that you're the top baby face in this company. You're the guy who literally sets the bar, right? But you literally wear a spandex girdle or whatever,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that you get to come out in literally a combat vest. And what made me really annoyed was one time I heard an interview with Roman where they were like, yeah, you wear like a combat vest. And they were trying to be like, it's because your character. And he's like, yo, it's really thin what I wear. And you're like, dude, are you missing the point? We all know that it's not fucking Teflon. We understand that you're not worried about being shot, right?
Right.
No.
Yeah, he did not yes and.
Yeah, right. What we're saying is that like you're supposed to get in the ring, right? and be the center of the company. You're supposed to be the sun, right? Everything revolves around the sun. The sun is fucking hot, and it emanates that power. You don't get a pass, right? Like everybody else. You don't get a pass. There's a reason that Orton has been able to stay at the top of his game for so long, and he can say whatever the fuck he wants, because it's like you there's nothing you could argue against. So if you are in that position of being this guy who's the center of this company, you need to do everything you can for everyone to be like which is exactly what Cena did, where he's unfucking deniable. Roman, you say if you Roman needs to be undeniable, and that vest was symbolic of deniability. It was like you have a weakness, right?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "What? Why does anyone care about that?" I'm like, because if I was writing this show, it would drive me fucking nuts that this character comes out covered and these other characters are working their ass off. And like, you don't want Roman in ring with fucking Drew McIntyre clashing, but he's wearing extra clothing. It's whack. It doesn't make him feel fucking big time.
It's not cool.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't feel big time.
Hogan, if you remember The Rock and Stone Cold in the 90s, they were the top wrestlers. It wasn't because they had the best bodies of everybody. No, right? They just looked, they came out and they were kind of puffy. The Rock was kind of puffy. The shape he's in now is not the shape he was in. Even when he was in his best shape when he was a wrestler, was like probably WrestleMania 17 probably. He came out. His body fat was really fucking high, and his belly would hang over the trunks. Even me, when I look at pictures when I would wear the trunks, right? My belly, and to be honest, even if your body fat is like fucking low, it's really hard for it because those trunks squeeze the fuck out of you.
Like Spanx.
You got to be like Ziggler.
Right. You have to be like one of those guys who just has like, they hug where it's just bone. They have to touch bone, you know? Because like if I wear my boxers and I look in the mirror, it's not clipping, like it doesn't make hangover. But when I put on the wrestling trunks, they give you muffin top because your body fat has to be super low. But my point is, it doesn't fucking matter. No one's talking about The Rock's muffin top. They're like, yo, this is how you dress to be a main eventer. You show the physique.
Yeah.
Super important.
And also, I just want to say one thing. If you ground it, the last thing I want to say is that you also ground the writing of the show. The writing of the show is that the wrestlers they dress like this, right? Like this is what the classic guy looks like. If you're the center of the company, this is what you look like, right? And then the guys who are unconventional around you, those guys, they get to dress like that, and they get to do the weird shit, and that's how they differentiate themselves. Now that doesn't mean like Cena wore the jean shorts, but you knew what kind of fucking shape he was in. You know?
Right. They would also sit really low on his hips. John Cena.
You know what was going on under those jorts.
Well, let's be honest. I didn't love the jean shorts. I mean,
whoever really loves jorts? Like,
no, but Cena's work ethic, you saw it in him where you're like, oh, this guy is setting the pace. You saw it on the top, so you didn't give a shit about the jeans really after a while. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's it. It's more of a symbolic gesture. So it's not picking on Roman. I hope when Roman starts getting back on the road, I encourage him. You could put on some body fat. Be healthy, man. You're a dad. You have a real life. That's fine. But don't compromise being Hogan didn't always look great, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Well, and wearing the vest, like when it just makes you seem self-conscious. And if you're Roman Reigns and you're like at the top of, you're supposed to be at the top of your game, and you're seeming like you're self-conscious about your body, it kind of contradicts that you're the top dog, you know?
Right. Anyway, so all right. So what did you guys think of these rocking the pants? Would you like to see him show a leg? Where are you guys at?
Yes. I think he should wear shorts, booty shorts, like the undies or something.
Like
and I actually have
cut? You want to see
I have a pitch on how we get there, but I can save that for when you want to talk about like the storytelling of the match and where we go next.
Okay, you could save that. I would say this is I don't see what you gain from the pants. I mean, what you gain nothing. I mean, you don't want to
Pockets.
dress in like the big
Mhm.
boss man to wrestle. Like, come on, dude. Like
Right.
at this point, come on, show his legs. I'm sure look great. You know what I mean?
It's just like one step at a time for him, though. Like, obviously, it's been so long. The vest was a huge move for him. And I think that either you do it all at once and you take it all off and just rock the little square undies. But if you're not going to do that, I think you're going to have to wait to see the bottom half.
Yeah. So I mean, we all agree that it's what's he gaining from this middle of the road look? Really nothing.
There's not much to
Okay.
be gained.
Okay. What a great looking guy, Roman. His tattoo work is so good. Also, he got to
Yeah.
show off his
So
tattoo
cool.
work.
Yeah.
Now, those Samoan guys get the best tattoos, you know, and
Yeah.
it's so great because it's like part of their culture, which makes it even cooler. You know what I mean? And it's annoying that I can't do one. You know, like I look like an asshole.
Well, you could, but yeah, you look like a fucking douche.
Oh, look like a deuce. Could I pull one off if I like moved to Samoa for a little bit and I
No.
studied? No. Okay.
No.
All right. Okay. So are you saying that Seth Rollins doesn't pull off the
kanji,
on the back his back
Oh no, he does. As
as a
a
heel?
as a guy from Davenport, Iowa,
Love
with an
Davenport.
inexplicable kanji tattoo
You.
down his spine. That's right on game.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins, yeah. Seth Rollins is great. Seth Rollins is the only guy with that tattoo who doesn't regret that, right? Anyway, but here's my next part of this thing is that, all right, I had another clash with Tulo. We all know that Nick Tulo is Super Mark. You can hear him on the bonus episodes and sometimes hear also holder of the Cow Money in the Bank briefcase. As the Cow champion, that's always a threat, something to keep in mind, especially when we get into these tussles. But he has these things where like when something's positive he gets really bummed if I mention a negative and like listen, that being said, these are good points that need to be made. And so listen, I want to say this for anyone who's feeling Roman right now. I'm agreeing. It's working. It's great. And we're getting into the storytelling right now, and it's probably going to dominate this whole episode. But I want to say, I just want to say, it's kind of annoying it took him 5 WrestleManias to get good. You know?
Yeah.
Who the fuck gets that kind of opportunity? Who gets 5 years in a
Reigns.
girdle, and then when a pandemic hit, gets to fucking go work out for a long time and then show up with your physique in the main event. First time you come back, you win the title. You know, I mean, fine. That feeds into his heel gimmick, so that's what makes it cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes it cool. But boy, oh boy, do I hope people like Drew McIntyre because he deserves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's never been a secret opinion on this pod that like some wrestlers get preferential treatment, right? Like
Yeah.
they don't drug test John Cena. There's all kinds of stuff. And I think probably because of the sort of history of that particular Samoan family in wrestling and Samoans in general in wrestling, Roman probably does get a lot of leeway for what he's able to do for his character and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, so now it's going to take another, he's beaten everybody in a fucking vest. And so now he's going to have another 5 years. I'll take 5 years to get in the undies? You think?
Oh,
You think
I
another
hope
5
not.
manias?
I really hope not. I hope it's I hope it's soon.
Okay.
Well, if he does wrestle The Rock, like what is being rumored, he would have to, right?
Right. Well, we'll see. But anyway, let's get into the storytelling here. And that is where Erin has segued us into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so look, he came out originally and Heyman called him the tribal chief. And we're kind of like, what exactly does this mean? I was like, all right, it's cool, but it just feels like a reason to not call him, the same shit that he Brock, like not do the reign. He was looking for
Right.
reigning, defending. It was like, oh, what's something different I can call him, you know? And it turns out we underestimated WWE, which is, I will defend us and say that we did the right thing because they tossed storylines. But it turns out this whole tribal chief thing and that mafia thing that Roman Reigns told a fan turned out to be a big storyline for them. I'm not sure if that was the plan all along or if they got that idea when they added Jey Uso into that match, but he has a storyline going where he wrestled Jey Uso, and his thing is showing all the Samoans that I am going to be this aggro chief who will constantly fight for my role. Like, I can't think of an example of a movie where this happens, but I guess it's like Lion King, kind
Hobbs
of, or
and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw, or like, what is the time where like someone is coming? Black Panther, right?
Oh yeah.
Right, like
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman as like Michael B.
Killmonger
Jordan is like
yeah.
coming
Hamlet.
to be right. Hamlet, yeah, it is Hamlet, right? They're all Hamlet. I just named it all these derivative Hamlet stories, right? It is Hamlet. Listen, bro, that's too pretentious of you. But
Oh, good for you.
yeah.
Well, I just watched Scarface again, and I kept saying this is supposed to be Hamlet, right? And it turns out it's supposed to be Macbeth. I was like completely wrong on the
Oh,
the translation.
mix those
bro,
up.
I do that. Those are interchangeable to me when I'm
Yeah.
being like, oh, it's Macbeth, it's Hamlet.
Yeah.
I put those
Yeah.
two stories are the same.
Yeah.
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 Really funny. Someone said this to me, by the way. Someone said that this is slightly political, whatever. But you just mentioned Scarface. Someone said that Trump is in the third act of Scarface right now. His third act.
Yeah.
Not
I was
he's
like,
sweating enough.
Yeah.
I was like, that is so funny.
Yeah. And Joe Biden is the dude with the shotgun walking up behind him.
Yeah. It's just a funny. Don't
Yeah.
get too upset by it, okay?
Yeah.
But listen to RGN if you want to hear political stuff. I
wanna get
speak to a Trump
upset.
supporter. Give both sides, people. Anyway, but okay, so yeah, so that it really worked. It was like Jey Uso. The storytelling in this match was fucking excellent. Clash of Titans, by the way, as a pay-per-view across the board, was one of my
Very good.
favorite ones that I think we all agree was a great time, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed it pretty much top to bottom. It
Mhm.
kicked off with a bang. We'll get into that. But so, yeah, the storytelling in this match is really good. So what they're doing is they are kind of setting up that Samoan family is essentially like a crime family, right? Like a mafia
Yeah.
style family, like in the traditional mafia where there's like a head of the family. It reminds me, it's funny because Jamie's been like rewatching Sopranos episodes, and it feels like that, where it's like, look, the family, you have to be strong. You have to constantly keep people in check, remind people you're the fucking boss, and then like you get close with them, and then you get comfortable, and then you gotta fucking beat them up one day in front
Even
of
if
everybody.
they're your cousins, sometimes you have to put them down.
Right. And it's fucking great. And this match was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, like Jey Uso come out with a lei around his neck.
I like that.
And Roman came out and was beating him up. And you saw Roman, like, in the beginning of the match, the storytelling, his evolution throughout this was like, it was like almost like the whole Michael Corleone story from Godfather 1 in a match, you know, where it was like, okay, he comes in, he's like, all right, I'll fight you. But literally, he can't be giving him his all because he's so much bigger. And Jey actually starts beating Roman up. You know what I mean? Which could only mean, considering how strong we know Roman is booked and kayfabe, how strong he is, that he must have been holding back because it's his family. And then at one point just turns a corner and is like, I know what I got to do. Like, I'm the fucking chief. I'm the boss of this family. I'm at the head of the table. You all want to eat. That involves me being the top guy here. So that's it. And then he ground and pounds him fucking out, which was so dope to have him.
Yeah.
I was like, and once he started beating him with ground and pound, I was like, this match needs to end by that. And then they curved me by having Jimmy come out,
Yes.
and Jimmy threw in the towel for him, and Jey was begging to not. And by the way, if I'm ever just recapping something, that's, it's great. I've noticed that pattern of me.
Right.
If I just tell it to you, that means I loved it. I think everyone loved this. This was one of WWE's best matches I've watched the entire time I've done this podcast.
Yeah.
And he's Jimmy threw the towel in, and then he said, like, you're the tribal chief, or what did he
He's
say?
like, what more do you want? Like, you're the chief. Fine.
You're the chief,
Like,
you're-
just
right.
Stop.
And Roman
Stop
was like
this.
this. Now, look, Roman's acting is not great. It's fine.
Acknowledge me.
It's serviceable. Yeah.
It's serviceable. He needs to get comfortable in this role. This is a new role for him. Again, that's more of a physical more than a mental error. You know what I mean? Like where we said that. Like my baseball coach would be like, if you bobble the ball but you were in the right position, I'm not mad at you. But if you're in the wrong position, that's it. This is like he's doing the right shit. He's not fucking fully there yet. But I do believe he will click into this role. You know,
Yeah.
I think he will. And I think he will figure it out. So I think it's really good. And it was really fun, and it was long. So this main event, this was 23, like 4 seconds short of 23 minutes. 23 minutes long, which is Cage Side Seat actually had this article that was because I was trying to find just the card, and I happened to see this headline, clicked on it. It was like it was showing you how long the matches are, and the matches, the 3 matches that were truly great in this pay-per-view were all over 20 minutes long.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And I think the best match of the night, well, the Roman one was the best match of the night, but the one that I got a lot of texts about was the ladder match, which was almost 27 minutes long. It's almost a half hour long, which is awesome. And some of these matches fell out. And I wonder if they were booked to be as long or they just fell into this happy accident. And it kind of proves like what they do in New Japan and stuff and in AEW, that these longer the matches, the more storytelling you could do. And we need to see more longer matches, you know?
Yeah. I do think though that the storytelling has to come first, right? Because I think that like the New Japan stuff, like the reason like there's epic like Okada, like Omega, like 60-minute matches. Right. The reason that you can sit there and watch a 60-minute match is because they've built it up to that point. And I think that they achieved like a half-hour match. They could have gone longer, maybe 25 minutes with Roman, because they earned it. And then that storytelling goes through, and because if it's a boring match and nobody gives a fuck about it, then it's like I've seen matches. A 9-minute match feels like a 20-minute match, and it's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Right.
And one little thing that was my favorite part of that match was when they're by the announce tables, and he's beating Jay up, and the announcers are reacting, and Roman gives them this sort of like no, I got it. He's my family. It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt him. And he's like, and then he goes and hurts him. But it was like it's like a really subtle like. Because I've seen people do that before, where it's just like I got it, don't worry about it, and like mind your own business kind of thing, or he's like hitting them. It was amazing.
Actually, that's a great call, Newman, because that is something Roman Reigns does really well. Is like he has that. I wish I had the fucking adjective for like what it is that he does, but he has that great he has like that like sarcastic like bro thing that he does well, and like it's one of the only things he does that comes off as authentic when he's cutting promos is when he's just like, dude, you don't gotta, it's all good, man. Like it's all good.
Exactly, right.
It's all good, dude. Like it's all good, right? You're like,
right.
And that's because we're scraping the bottom of the barrel for Roman because he's not really authentic, and but okay, so we all agree this was great, right?
Yep.
The question is, where do we go with such a narrow gimmick? You know what I mean?
Here's my pitch, okay? So we know that The Fiend, via Alexa Bliss, right, has a problem with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
We have Fiend versus Reigns. Reigns obviously wins because it doesn't matter if The Fiend loses, but he puts him through the ringer.
Right.
And he comes out the other side, the restored version of Roman Reigns. And he gets to go back to when he was in NXT, when he was the first like Samoan gimmick where I think he had like a grassish skirt or he wore something, right? You bring that back, and then he has he's still Tribal Chief. He has the undies on, he has the lei, he has the skirt, and he's full Samoan.
Dude, that's
like
he's
Maui
the Tribal Chief
from Moana with the fluffy
good.
hair.
Dude,
yes,
that is
exactly.
so. If fucking guys come out with tiki torches and I know that might be it might be offensive.
Let's not do that one. Yeah.
No,
come
but
out
what's
and do a haka.
no. But
come out and do a haka.
Yes.
Like
yes, I don't know that I'm
like
being
a tribe of people.
Admittedly ignorant to what Samoan culture.
Tiki, I think, is very much an American.
I would love some fire.
Polynesian thing.
I would love some fire.
Well, we'll have fire spinners. We'll have fucking
imagine
the haka
Roman
going.
kind of had some version of like an authentic Samoan approved version
Yeah.
of like the Viking Raiders old NXT entrance,
Yes.
like at
Right.
takeovers.
Yes.
And it's like blah, like some kind of that, and every time Roman comes out for a pay per view, there's
War
fucking
drums.
drums
You
Yeah.
and
gotta
shit
get the
like that.
drums.
Oh
Recycle
my
the
fucking
drums.
god!
Yeah.
You'd
Via
be
the
a god,
Fiend.
a
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
And,
That adds up.
and you know, this is Vince's fault. It's Vince's fault that for 5 years he's just been the Shield. Like he literally kept their music. Can you believe that? I mean, 5 years of this guy's run, he literally got his cancer back again in those 5 years. Like the amount, if you want to put in perspective, how much life we're losing in this. And I know that's kind of crazy, but I just mean like
No, but yeah.
the vitality of a human being is, and especially a wrestler, is such a narrow window. To have him come out in something that's clearly not working for that long, you know what I mean? It's
While
like
continuing to like push him to the top at the same time.
right.
Right.
Is fine only because it gave us two great versions of Rollins and Moxley, despite Roman. And that's the only, like, that's the fallout of Roman, is that, like, they jammed him down our throats, and they did. I hate when people are like, oh, like, you didn't jam us down our throats. Like, no, he was jammed down our throats. He would be shoehorned into WrestleManias, like, out of nowhere, and it wasn't really working. Like, there's stuff that I would argue didn't get the chance to work or was kind of working that Vince pulls the plug on. You know what I mean? Like, all the time. I watched an interview with Stephanie, actually, and on Howard Stern's, an old interview, Stephanie McMahon and Howard Stern, where she was like, one thing I'd learned from my father is to, like, pull the plug when it's not working. And I was like, oh, well, that's what he does. But, like, some people just get to, like, ride it out till it might work. And that did work with Cena. Like, it did work with Cena, but that's because the Cena thing was working. But he didn't have the hustle, loyalty, respect thing the whole time. But he did find his authentic self in there. But they realized, like, nothing about just being the old version of the Shield was going to ever work as authentic. You know?
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Not only that, if you think about it this way, he came out to the Shield music, and, like, instead of giving him his own, even, like, Roman Reigns, they just took off the Sierra Hotel Echo.
Yeah.
They just took that off.
Trimmed
That
it
was
off,
it.
off the top.
And every time his song would hit, if you notice, by the way, this is a very nuanced thing, but then the Roman Reigns song, they never have the levels right when it hits. And it would go like, and it was lower,
Yeah.
and then they raise it every time. Do you notice that? They like, there's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
about it where it's not.
Do you think that they were playing the Shield theme and they were turn it
Yeah,
down?
they're turning it up real
Sierra
quick.
Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, the Shield.
No, bro, come on. What is this? AEW?
Shit.
Oh man, but yeah. So that's cool. But so do you think, like, here's what I'm saying in terms of structure. Do you think? Oh man, I'm gonna have to pee really soon because I drank 2 LaCroix since we started.
You finished 2 LaCroix?
Yeah, I drank the Festique and the lime, and I have and half a latte. All right. Do you, so I love Newman. Perfect booking. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Make him,
I guess
like,
to
actually
more directly answer your question, I would have him now, run through Jimmy in like a squash,
Right.
and then they join him by his side, and it's sort of like
Yeah,
reluctant,
so they have to join him. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
All right, wait. I'm gonna go pee. Pause right there because I'm gonna be able to pick up easily from it.
Okay.
Okay, so the only way it works is if it is treated like a mafia, and we've heard Roman say the word mafia, so I believe that Jay and Jimmy will have to like stand by him,
Yes.
right? So like if I'm them, I have to be like they have to like have some kind of on Friday. We haven't watched SmackDown yet. They have to go meet with him. He has to have like the chief headquarters like room, right? And they have to come in and be like, look, you guys want tag gold? I know we had what happened the other night. I tried to do what I had to do, but this is best for the family, which is what I'm saying, which is what I've been saying. So look, here's the deal. I've already arranged for you guys to get a title shot. That's the proof to you. I've already done that. I told Vince I'm not going to put the Universal title on the line until you guys get a title shot because this is what's best for family. And now they're cheating, right? Now they're cheating and they're becoming this fucking Samoan mafia. And then they're like, dude, thank you. And then they win. Roman comes out, spears everybody, puts Jimmy on top of whoever, Cesaro and Shinsuke, whatever hodgepodge tag team is the champion right now. Then you have the Usos as tag. Now they fucking owe their titles to Roman. Right? And then Roman starts taking some of their salaries. He's siphoning a little off their salaries. That's how you do it, right? And then he's bringing other Samoans into the fold. He goes, what's that guy? Is Dabu Kedu
I don't think so.
Samoan?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. What other Samoans do they have? They need way more Samoans.
Tamina
This is the
and Nia
problem.
Jax. Put them together.
Perfect.
Great.
Perfect. Put them in.
Of course, Nia Jax. Nia Jax's finisher is this fucking Samoan drop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Great. God, I'll say one thing I did not like about Roman. I did not like him using fucking Zack Ryder's move or whatever. Like that, like
one?
he had like that new move that was like not meant for a guy his size, like a running leg move. Like he basically runs at you. They're like, oh, it's new offense from Roman. He ran at him and he basically does like jumps up and gives you a leg drop from the front.
Oh, I don't know.
That you fall backward.
For the record, I don't know any
weird.
Zack Ryder moves.
I know the
Well, his finisher is like the
whatever, his
broski
Long
or whatever.
Island.
Yeah, the Long Island iced tea, I think is what the move's called. Or maybe the Long Island nice tea. I don't know. But yeah. So what I'm saying,
Nigerian, Polish,
oh,
Nigerian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't know anything about him except for the underground. But yeah, like what other? Yeah, great Tamina. That's a great way to make Tamina matter, right?
Who else is Rikishi still around? Is he alive? Did he die? Yeah.
Rikishi is Jimmy and Jay's.
Bring
father.
Rikishi in. Fuck it.
Bring him in.
He's
Fuck
around. Bro, Rikishi, of course, man.
So Samoa
Rikishi
Joe,
needs to be around.
obviously.
Rikishi needs to tell his kids to get in line with
And
Roman.
Samoan
Yep.
Joe.
What a moment that would be.
Samoa
How
Joe.
you want to talk about like Sopranos?
Oh, Samoa Joe.
Well, he's a different family though. But he's a different family. He's not from their family.
Samoan
Samoan Joe.
You know, his Christian name is Samoan
Well, yeah.
Joseph.
Well, there's There's Roman Reigns
he's not of the family.
there's Samoa Joe, and then there's Roman Reigns, who is a Samoan Joe.
Yeah.
Right, that is true. One is Samoan Joe versus Samoa Joe. Actually, they could do that. That would work.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
This is great. God, he needs to. But Roman cannot. Those pants are not what a tribal chief wears.
They don't wear
And
black
you know he's
cargo
gonna wear them.
pants.
He's really good at getting it wrong. He's gonna wear those for I know you're not a fucking UPS delivery guy with his shirt off. You know, like he needs to fucking get this right. Go full on.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's exciting. You're right, because once they get the family in line, then he could start wrestling, and then man, you see him versus then you'd even be excited to see him wrestle Lesnar.
And then but then The Rock comes in.
Yes.
So that's the inevitable storyline here, right?
Yeah. Who wins? Roman has to.
Oh, Roman. Yeah. It's not even.
Whoa.
Yeah. But I think I saw a Rock, which means nothing.
Right.
I think he formally retired from wrestling on Instagram.
He did?
Right.
I think he did, but I don't know if I made that up. But I think I watched him say, "I want to announce on Instagram like this is my." I don't think The Rock would wrestle again. I think he got really. First off, he got pretty fucking hurt wrestling. So those times.
Yeah.
And he's getting. I think this is the only way he would do it, because this is so big for Roman. And if Roman's trying to be a star, which he is based on teeth alone, Um, this is a way to make Roman a star. People are like, oh wow, it's The Rock is wrestling at Mania versus. But I mean, do you think The Rock is willing, based on his branding, you think The Rock is willing to have? Well, there's two thoughts here. Is he willing to have a match where he looks like Hogan when Hogan wrestled Rock, where he looks bad? I mean, he's got big fitness gear on the line. Can he go out there and be fucking exposed that way, like where he's got to be carried by Roman and look like Taker did, you know? Because he's starting to be up there now. He is jacked as fuck, and if anyone could do it, it is him, you know. But and then the other question is, would he do it if it's not going to be 100,000 people? If it's like a 1/3 capacity crowd?
Well, he's already had COVID.
That's also
Probably
true.
doesn't want to risk that again.
Yeah, this is antibodies. He's bringing his antibodies with him.
Do you think, would you be satisfied with The Rock still being involved, but it's sort of like being more of a ceremony where The Rock is like, look, like you're obviously the tribal chief, and he kind of sort of like prostrates himself for Rick Roman and gives him the rub that way? Would you be satisfied with that, or would you only be satisfied with a match?
I think that you could build up, have Samoa Joe win the Rumble, and you could tell you have enough time to build up Joe to that kind of main event status, and then you do Roman versus Samoa Joe with The Rock as the referee, you know, and it's called a Samoan match or something, and then like it's a Samoan fucking, you know, like the Chief match or whatever.
Samoan ref match.
Yeah, well, The Rock will like deem somebody the Chief, right?
Right.
Or so. Listen, this might be offensive. I honestly.
Well, it's
don't
a
know.
different family. Like he wouldn't be like Samoa Joe wouldn't have anything to do with the NOI family. He's not that lineage.
Yeah, but for kayfabe, they've done worse. You know
Right,
what I mean?
that's true. Yeah.
Do I need to give you examples?
Yeah. No. I remember when they made fun of Shinsuke's accent.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, one thing. If you want to go really far, if you
of course we do.
Roman versus Brock, and you kind of do like subtle alt right shit with Brock, okay? Subtle. Okay, listen. This is spitball. This is the sessions. Like you
Just
do,
you
do. No, you could do. Oh, you could do Randy, and Randy wants to fucking take this tribe down. You could always kind of pull off like a little bit of racism with Randy Orton.
Randy, like a you people would roll right off of his tongue.
Yeah.
I hear voices in my head.
Wow.
They tell me to be racist. But no, I think
God,
you people think you run this company,
right? Like, I know it sounds shitty, but like, you know, there is this shitty part of wrestling, and it's okay because it's wrestling. It's not actual politics where like you do tap into some kind of realism, you know. And I'm not saying you should be hateful, but it should be like, it should be like what they did JBL and Rey Mysterio or whatever, like shit like that.
Right.
It should be like standing at the border with a gun. I mean, Jesus Christ. But I mean, there could be a thing where you're like, all right, I know, like where you're like, I know what's going on. I think I know what's going on here. I think I know what's going on. You know, they did it in UFC, which is bad because you can't tell it like you can't tell a story of the right guy wins. But the problem is that Roman's going to be a heel for a long time going forward here. Yeah. So it's hard to put him up against Randy, and then you worry is that if you put Brock, does Brock inevitably become the USA champ versus the Samoan tribe? Even though Samoa is part of America, right?
Yeah, but through
it's like a territory, right?
Territory.
Yeah, it's not something I think Samoans think about.
Right.
You know,
I'm very ignorant
colonization.
towards like anything about Samoa. You know.
Yeah, me too. I don't know much.
Yeah,
I just assume that like if your country is an American territory because of like colonialization, you're probably like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, listen, the thing is that just I think to answer my question, I was saying, oh, it's such a narrow gimmick, and we made it so wide with a pretty spitball-y conversation here that like I think Roman's in good space going forward.
Yep.
And and all props to Vince where it's due. I mean, Roman could beat the Fiend, and we'll still think the Fiend's awesome too.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So this is
Precisely.
just fucking crazy exciting. Yeah, and good man, good for you, Roman. You know what I mean?
Oh, good for you.
But the question here to you guys is Roman Reigns one of your guys?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not there yet. Let me
see the legs.
You need
Let me
to
see the
Yeah, you have to build trust with a person. It's only been a few days, so.
Erin, that is so true. I don't have any trust of this man. I don't. My
Yeah.
trust is not there. And you know what? Frankly, I'm disgusted with all you who giving him so much fucking benefit of the doubt, so much trust. Listen, the guy had one good night. You know how many fucking great matches some of these guys have had?
Yeah.
And none of you even care. Oh,
We're so
my
ready
God.
for it.
Someone you idolize.
All right. Well, anyway, congrats to Roman Reigns for really killing. It's interesting when we go here. I mean, you can already see there's going to be some sensitivity that's going to happen here, but fuck, man. Leaning into the authenticity of just leaning into the fact that he is the head of the table of the Samoans, which is just true. You know?
Right.
Oh my God, we need him to spear Rikishi. We need it.
Right.
We need a spear of Rikishi.
All the old Samoans.
Rikishi.
Did you know that scene in The Sopranos where Christopher? I don't know. You guys seen The Sopranos all the way through?
Christopher?
I've seen the first 3 seasons. I'm still working on it.
I think this is later, but it's not a spoiler at all. But Tony holds Christopher's face and he's like, "You don't have to love me, but you will respect me." You know?
Yeah. It's a famous scene. I know. Yeah.
Oh my God! Like that is so. Tony Soprano is such a fucking great character to be thinking about when you're writing this Roman Reigns character. Like I would, if I was Vince, which he will not do, is I'd watch Sopranos all the way through because there's so many moments in that where you're like,
He's never seen one episode.
probably not, but the power plays that you have to do to like be in that spot, and the conflict of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the anxiety that it brought to Tony. I'm not saying we necessarily need to see it out of Roman, but we need to feel it. And you felt it there because why is Jay and felt it? You just had to like do the math. Why is Jay able to even hurt Roman at all? And you're like, oh, that's the emotion. You know? Great.
Right.
Fantastic. All right. I think that was broken
If
down
we're,
to a healthy degree.
If we're moving on, I do have to go.
Okay, Newman
I'm going to
bouncing
use this
off.
breaking point. Yeah.
Newman,
Go
thanks
ahead,
for
bro.
coming by.
Any question? Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Anything
And
you
after
wanna
that,
plug?
I'm going straight to hell. Enjoy the show.
all right. See
See
you,
you in
Newman.
hell.
Right. See ya.
That's fine. The Roman discussion will be the main discussion of this pod this week.
It
But
must be.
the Jeff Hardy AJ Styles ladder match at Sami Zayn,
First match of the night.
first match of that IC title. This match was. I was texting you during this match, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
This match was fucking amazing.
It was wild.
Yeah, great
Lot of
time.
Daredevils in there.
What a great way to kick off the show. Enjoy the show.
The show.
Did we all get this right, or did Tulo get it right?
He was the only one who got it right, yeah.
Right.
Should be said that Nick Tulo won the Clash of Champions T-shirt derby
Right.
by 1.
This match just watches a great time. Sami Zayn giving the title, which was a smart move. I don't know why I didn't even see that coming, but Jeff Hardy's fucking nuts.
Right. Well, we all picked Jeff Hardy except for Nick Tulo, so I think we were looking for him to get a title here.
Yeah, I thought Jeff Hardy was he was already the champ, but I was assuming he would just keep riding it out.
Right.
But it's better storytelling. Sami Zayn reclaims the title, and then you can keep this going. I don't see how I didn't see that coming. I was not thinking at all. But yeah, really fucking great match. Jeff Hardy took a couple of really cool bumps.
Oh my God, there was the one we were talking about where he went backwards on the ladder, like rode it like a sled backwards off the corner.
Yeah, so he was on the ladder. They pushed the ladder to be horizontal, and he laid across it, and then the whole ladder got pushed out of the ring, and he just like
Slid.
fell out of the ring.
I know. His arm, I was like almost got caught.
It was one of the least controlled blasts I'd
Yeah.
ever seen. And then he just did a classic, like, 19-foot ladder swanton.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, for no crowd in the Thunderdome. And that was really great. But that match was just what a great way to kick off the show. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Those
for
guys
sure.
were going after each other. Do we know what happened with the women yet, or why those matches didn't happen?
I'm not sure. I didn't watch all of Raw. I fast forwarded through pieces of it to get to the end, but it was
I
supposed
didn't
to
see
be
anything.
addressed. Oh, well.
Did I miss something? I saw Nia Jax tweet out that, like, Shayna was pregnant, which I think was a joke.
It was a goof that she was expecting, right?
So, and then I saw an article that didn't say Nia Jax. Here,
Nia Jax
let's
said
see if I
she's
can find
doing
it.
fine.
Cross Baszler mismatch. I assumed it was COVID related, right?
Yeah, I think that's the assumption that was going around online. But
Yeah, everything I'm seeing is from 3 days ago.
well, Dave Meltzer was the one who had, I think, initially reported that it was due to COVID. But
Here's what I'm saying. They after
No
failing to
updates.
receive the necessary medical clearance.
yeah.
As a result, they were here. This is from. Yeah, this is from a couple. Everything I'm seeing is from 3 days ago. I haven't seen anything. Yeah, and he
Yeah.
said WWE's dealing a COVID outbreak, and it was from NXT, which we know about, and so they might have been intact with NXT people, right?
Right. Mhm.
This has to be COVID, right? What else would this be? 'cause it
Yeah,
affected
I mean, at least
two
it shows that
matches,
they're doing
so-
testing, and Nikki Cross was also pulled from her match with Bailey. So, I
Yeah.
guess it
My
would make
guess is that
sense.
they were just leading safe than sorry. That's my guess, is that they contact traced and were like, oh, these people had it, and they're like, oh, well, you were with these people, so they're like, why risk
Yes.
infecting the entire pay-per-view card?
Right.
So they probably just didn't bring him in the building, is what I'm hoping.
That
Or they
could
had
be.
him there and just didn't want to put him on TV for optics, is what I'm hoping did not happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But all right, so we don't know, but all right, so this Drew McIntyre Randy Orton match, I really thought this was a blast.
Ambulance match was a blast.
It was fun. It was like, let's tie into the story. It was long-term storytelling that, like, Randy's been fucking with these legends for the past couple
These
of
old
months,
dudes.
and they all came back, and then they all came to beat him up. Shawn Michaels give him a super kick. I'll watch Shawn Michaels give a super kick until his dying days. And he fell off of the ambulance, which was a blast.
That was
And
cool.
then I loved at the end that Ric Flair drove him away. I thought that was fucking fun.
That was cute. Yeah.
And then I loved on Raw that Randy, I thought it was so stupid, but I fucking loved it. Randy was the janitor.
With
I
the
don't know.
night vision goggles,
Why did he need to pretend to be the janitor?
because he was lurking around backstage. I didn't know he was back there.
Was
He
there
was in
any real
disguise?
reason for him to be a janitor?
No.
Can he just show up and just do that?
He was just incognito. Maybe he was actually like taking trash bags out like all around backstage.
Yeah,
It was
'cause
a long con.
it wasn't like he was in there like trying to like clean up and get information. He didn't really
No.
need to be incognito. All he did was turn off the light and beat everybody up. I don't care. It was so fun. I would rate that.
It was
I think
funny to see him
fun-
in the
good time.
jumpsuit like you didn't know it was Randy Orton. He's slithering in style, like you know it's him.
But I like when they end. I like when they end Raw with like a story moment, and like
Yes.
a match happens, and then they cut to something else. I always think that
Yeah.
like some kind of cliffhanger thing. I think that's always like a good time.
I like that too.
I'm a sucker for that. It's I think that was fun. But I thought the match was great, and it was also a great way for Randy to lose. He got his many would say his retribution.
Oh yeah.
Did we see Retribution? I didn't see Retribution. I don't know what
did. I
Retribution was not on the
fast-forwarded through
pay-per-view. They don't show up to the pay-per-view. Retribution is so
We don't need
fucking
'em.
stupid.
It's so lame now.
It's
now
not even
that
worth
you
talking
know who
about.
it is, it's lame.
And
It's
plus,
lame.
they're like signed. They're on the main. It makes no sense.
And they're being like jokey on social media, like it's like silly.
Right. It was cool that Oscar wrestled twice. I think that was fun.
Yes, that was cool.
I think
I
that
was
was like
wondering who was gonna come, and when Oscar came out, I was like, "Oh, that's
yeah,
pretty
it
rad."
was fun. It was smart. Whatever. But yeah, it's a good time. It looked like I still believe, even though I lost my predictions. Did Tulo choose the Street Profits?
He did.
Okay, I think Angel Garza and Andrade were supposed to win though.
Yeah, because he got hurt. He hurt his leg.
Angel Garza got hurt. You could watch it. He really hurt his leg or knee or
Yeah.
something. And the finish was really awkward. And I'm also happy that they're willing to end these matches like that.
Of
That's
course.
fine for safety.
I think now they're being extra cautious since
Right, they did
was
it
a
with
hot
Mickey
button
James
topic.
also. Right,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
I'm glad they didn't cave to any pressure of that, like looking bad or blah blah blah. It's all
Forget it.
good. Health comes first.
Yeah.
And if they are doing the right thing by the COVID, also seems like they're doing a lot. So I'm happy
Yeah.
about that, especially if they're gonna have Ric Flair in the building.
Right. I know. Every time he shows up, I'm like, ooh.
Totally.
Talk about underlying conditions.
Yeah, pre-existing.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple last bits of stuff. The
Okay.
WWE draft is happening on October 9th
On my
and 12th.
birthday,
Ooh,
October 9th. Me and Newman's
wow.
birthday, actually.
You have the same birthday?
We do. We were born on the same day.
Wow, we'll have to
Mhm.
have a birthday cow app.
Yep.
We'll
Mhm.
pastique
Friday.
all around.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're doing the draft again. WWE
Who's
draft I
in
don't care about
charge
because
of
the
the
Raw and
draft?
SmackDown shows, they don't have anyone in charge, so it's like
Right.
what show? I don't know exactly why it matters what show you're on.
It'll
by
probably
the
be
way,
the draft, like where they just show on the TV, like a graphic that says, like, Roman Reigns has been drafted to Raw, not the draft where it's like a sports draft where you have your two managers. Because at this point, it's just not happening.
Yeah, and I get why they do the drafts, but I get why they do it. It's just there's no excitement for them or anything, and like it's like Mandy just came over, so you're like, oh, all right, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just telling you that the draft's happening. Whatever is what it is.
Confirmed.
Bobby Roode returned on Raw.
Robert.
But here's my question for you, Robert Roode. Yeah, which is whatever. Do you think? Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If you were a wrestler,
Mhm.
would you like to return in the main event, but lose to Drew clean, but you're wrestling the champ, right?
Mhm.
Or would you rather come back in the middle of the show and have a win? You know what I mean? Like maybe you win the U.S. title right when you come back.
Right,
How
like
about that?
mid-cardy.
You win the U.S. title when you come back, or you wrestle Drew in the main event and lose.
I'd take the W on that. I'd rather win that title.
Yeah, interesting,
Is
right?
that-
That Bobby Roode would
yeah.
come back. Bobby Roode, by the way, looked a lot smaller.
Yeah.
I wonder
what
if he's
been up
off
to.
the juice. You know,
Yeah, he's in an off cycle.
he looked a
period.
lot smaller, but also it could have been because he wrestled Drew. But I felt like normally his muscles are like bulging out of the skin.
Right. The scale was off.
But yeah, right. Like his big comeback, and then to lose clean to Drew. I mean, I know it's Drew, but I don't
Why
know.
put him there? It just seems a little like they fed him to Drew.
And I'm not trying to be like some mark. Because I'm like, it is the main event. So I'm trying to be like, if you're him, he might just be like, yeah, well, I got to be in the main event, right?
Yeah, people will remember, like,
And he is a heel,
refresh
so
your
it's
memory
like,
a little bit.
right?
Yeah.
But I guess it feels like if he's coming back, I don't know. Anyway, it was an interesting thought I had. Her business worked. Aleister Black with a new song.
New song. I
and
only heard like
pants.
it was so short. The pant. I mean,
So Tulo, another example of me clashing with Tulo. Tulo was like, I
Clashes.
like the song. He's like, I liked it. Dude, this song was so generic and so
Yeah.
much worse. His other song's one of the best wrestling
yeah,
songs.
I like legit like that song. Like it's on Cow Tunes, our playlist. It's a good song to listen to. The song, it didn't click.
It's not
or
memorable
make
at
me
all.
Feel, and yeah, it's not memorable.
Yeah, I would like to
Hmm.
say that one of the coolest things about wrestling is like that they have their own music and it's memorable. I know they have the CFO deal and blah blah blah, but like
Sure.
find the cash because that song is awesome and
Yeah.
Keith Lee's new song sucks.
Yeah. Well, and I think with this one move, like if Newman was here, he could attest to this, but I think he veered straight from spooky boy territory to biker boy territory because now it's like he looks like a biker.
I thought the pants looked like
pants?
shit also.
Yeah, the
Uh,
like biker pants.
Yeah, I'm like, I get why, because he's like a tall, skinny guy, but the pants actually were not as flattering for him. I think he looks a lot better in the undies,
Well,
especially
you
because
want
his
to see
legs are
his
all tatted
whole,
up.
yeah, you want to see his whole body because he's covered in tattoos, and that's part of his identity in the ring, in my opinion. Like, you want
And
to
he's
see
like a
that. That's what you
kickboxer,
know him
right?
for.
So
Right.
like seeing his legs is like, it's like you want, like when he's swinging his legs, you see like the exposed leg. Um, I don't know
Full pants?
what they're thinking over there. I don't know, but his song was bad. Too Low, You're Wrong. I mean, it was fine. Like in terms of if it was just his song before, but considering he had the best song maybe in the whole of
Yeah.
WWE, I
Well,
don't
I
know.
think Tulo was excited because they were getting away from the because it's like the casket thing and with the creek.
The
But
casket was dope.
and
I love the casket. It was cool. It's something cool about wrestling. They just
getting a phone
never
call.
to change Aleister Black's whole thing when you never do it. Where Aleister, all right, Aaron, take your call. I got so much to say. I'm all good. To change Aleister Black's whole thing when he never really got it to get it going on Raw. I don't know. Aleister Black, like he was good to go. He just needed to rub. Like we talked about him wrestling Undertaker or something, or like he just needed a proper rub. And I don't know why to change him. He has an eye patch for. I don't even remember why he has an eye patch. He looks like Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. I don't know what they're thinking with Aleister Black. He's one of the best talents they have, and now that being said, I like that he's a feud with Kevin Owens, but why not have him just like, like Kevin Owens be like scared of him or threatened by him or something? I don't know. He wrestled in End One mixtape shorts when he was in the underground. I don't know what they're doing with Aleister Black. He's one of their better talents, and I don't know. It's confusing. Now that being said, Hurt Business is fucking cool. I'm loving the Hurt Business. The MVP's awesome. Everything doing Hurt Business is great. I wish they had Retribution making more sense, so that would make it work. And last thing I'll talk about is Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. They're keeping this feud going, and I heard someone complain about it. I would think it would have been over, hit a nice apex, but this whole thing with Aaliyah, his daughter, and she's kind of like into Buddy Murphy, I kind of dig it. Is it a little weird? Yeah, but it's kind of like cool to be like, oh well, she sees something in him, and he's not like Seth. I'm like, it's just the storytelling is fun of it, and that would make Dominic more upset. And let's see, are we gonna get it? Rollins, Dominic in the Hell in the Cell? I mean, I think that would be. I would be into that. I gotta be honest. I would be into that. So I'm still into this storyline, and good for Rollins. He's making it work. Rollins is coming off as such a fucking prick. It's a great time. So anyway, a really interesting, as I expected, Roman Reigns dominated this whole conversation, and
Easily.
yeah, another good week. I don't think like Raw didn't really like do it for me this week, and but coming off that pay per view, but I think that's normal because the pay per view is so good, and the next night have kind of it Raw be not not as
we're
good.
We're looking forward to Friday now because you want to see what's going to happen with Roman. So
yeah. So I think Friday I'm gonna be
And after that, I'm going straight to hell. Enjoy the show.
enjoying the show. All right, everybody, that's our cow episode this week.
Dan, I wanted to tell you today is International Podcast Day. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. Sounds like
well,
a
here
really
we are celebrating.
weird, stupid, fake holiday.
Just for us.
But that's great. It was like National Sun Day the other day. I was like, everybody,
like
relax.
Sun or like suns?
No, like SON. Like
how beautiful.
National Sun. What are we talking about?
You are a sun. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, oh my God. Like, what do we need
Blessings.
these days for? All right, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just an old crank.
You're a curmudgeon. It's podcast day, everyone.
Oh yeah, happy podcast day, everybody.
Happy
Tomorrow,
pod
and
day,
by the way,
everybody.
I hope everybody's ready for tomorrow. It's a National Poodle Day tomorrow.
Also National Tuna Melt Day.
National Tuna Melt, and and then the next day I think is National iPhone Charger Day.
I love
which is
that day.
Show a picture of your favorite iPhone charger, everybody.
Post it on the gram.
Post it on the gram. Show everyone. Maybe do you use an off-brand, or maybe you use a classic white cable? Who knows? But Erin, I think we had a
Mhm.
nice conversation, everybody. That's
That
the
was really
cow episode
nice.
for this week. But everybody, make sure if you need more Friday mornings, sometimes afternoon based on if we record early Friday morning, but Friday, without a doubt, you get our AEW NXT centric bonus episodes on the Patreon for a couple bucks, $5. Support this podcast. We are Grassroots. Patreon.com/comedians wrestling. And then also, if you want to up the tier, you'll get even more content from us. Me and Erin are running what I think is the greatest cow. I think it's I would say this is the #1 ranked professional wrestling movie podcast. Okay.
Everyone's
Now I'm
saying
pretty
that.
sure there's no other. I'm pretty sure there's no one, but it's really fun. We watch all these wrestling movies. This week we watch Interrogation. Next week we're watching
Recoil with
Recoil,
Stone
starring
Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, which would be a good time. And then also, if you're feeling the news right now, you're a news junkie. Um, check out the Dan Black Attack podcast. Erin's been joining me for the regular guy news, where we're breaking down these confusing news times. I have all these questions from watching the news, and I'm like, they don't answer all this stuff, right? Sometimes they're just like, you're like, what are you talking about? And I have these questions, so I dig into them and I interact with you guys. We've been getting great emails, and we have a mailbag for it. So I think it's a great conversation we're having. I spoke to one of our jabroniacs, Ross Kumaldi, who has different political ideals than I do. We're on opposite sides of the spectrum currently, and I think we had a great conversation. It's cool that our meeting point is this podcast, and we keep it civil. We had a follow-up conversation also after the debates, and I'm going to check in with him after the next presidential debates, and I think it's good. If you don't want to get into politics, you want to just talk wrestling, well, then just listen to this. You don't have to listen to it, okay?
Mhm.
The podcast is not getting politicized because of it. We're just having a dialogue, reaching across the aisle, having conversations and getting information, and especially in a time where disinformation and misinformation is the norm. So, hey, everybody, enjoy the Cow podcast. Enjoy all this bonus content. And please, if you enjoy what we're doing and you're listening, a lot more of you are listening than supporting, consider giving a couple bucks, patreon.com/comedians wrestling to keep the lights on here and help us expand our content and our capabilities. All right. And everybody, remember our sponsor.
Monday Night Raw is presented by Southern New Hampshire University.
And check out the RKO Randy Orton special with Jason Shapiro and the next 5 patrons we get. We'll put out part 2. We'll rank more RKOs. I mean, guys, we're the king. I am now calling myself the king of content. Okay, and I am Donnie Content, the king of content.
Mhm.
And everyone, if you want more content, you want me to keep on even the sultan of content, then support the show. Patreon.com/means of wrestling. All right, hey, and everybody, thanks for listening and keep watching Wrestling Kisses.